Okay, so you're here and you're into crypto. You probably, you see the potential, but you also know that it can be a little bit of a wild west out there.
For sure.
And we thought, going into 2025,
Yeah.
crypto fraud is something we really want to dive deep into.
It's only getting more sophisticated, too.
It is. It's getting smarter, and we want to make sure that you don't get caught off guard.
Absolutely.
So we've been looking at some really fascinating material about, what to look out for, the dangers, and we wanted to kind of extract for you the most vital clues to staying safe.
Yeah, because you're right. There's so much potential there with crypto. Decentralization, broader access to finance,
Right.
the possibility of really significant gains.
Yeah.
These are very real things.
Yeah.
But because of that, the flip side of that coin is that because it's less regulated and often anonymous,
Yeah.
it is an environment where, unfortunately, people who want to exploit others can thrive.
Yeah, and it's getting harder and harder to tell the difference.
Yeah.
So I think our focus today is how to spot those red flags
Yes.
before you end up in a
It's
bad
like
situation.
how to be cautious and informed.
Right.
Because that is more important now than ever
Absolutely.
in 2025.
Okay, so let's jump into the first one. And I think this is something that a lot of people maybe have even fallen victim to, these promises of incredibly high returns.
Yeah.
And, you almost think like, well, if it sounds too good to be true,
Right.
it probably is.
It probably is.
But it's so tempting.
Well, and I think it speaks to a very human thing.
Yeah.
We all want to,
Right.
see our wealth grow and grow quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's really interesting to look at why these promises are such a glaring red flag in the crypto space specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it comes down to just the volatility of the markets.
Right.
Makes, truly guaranteed exceptionally high returns.
Yeah.
Really improbable.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, I think, really interesting to think about this from the perspective of like cognitive biases that we all have.
Yeah.
We tend to overestimate the likelihood that good things are going to happen to us.
Yeah, like winning the lottery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's called optimism bias. And I think that scammers are really good at tapping into that.
Yeah.
By painting this picture of like effortless wealth, and bypassing the kind of like rational skepticism that we should have.
Yeah.
We should always remember that risk and potential return are usually correlated. And if something's totally risk-free and offering these amazing returns, that should be a huge red flag.
Well, I think the material that we were looking at gave some very specific examples of things that you might see out there, like 100% returns in 30 days or even double your money in a week, which is just like, it's almost laughable, and yet people fall for
Well,
it.
it's that promise of easy money that really gets people, I think.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
So, if someone's saying that you're going to get these returns that are so far above what you would normally see, and they're guaranteeing it.
Yeah, any guarantee should just be like
Yeah.
all alarms blaring.
Right, because even in traditional investment,
You don't see those kinds of returns.
risk-free high returns are incredibly rare, if not impossible.
Yeah.
And, crypto is based on really cool new technology, but it's not exempt from basic financial principles.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So red flag number 2, and I think this is really, kind of the foundation of trust, is this idea of transparency and verification. Like knowing who's on the other side of the transaction.
Absolutely, knowing who you're dealing with.
Right.
And that's really where transparency comes in. It's so important.
Yeah.
And it's, foundational to legitimate finance.
Right.
You should always be able to verify, crucial details about the project and the people involved. But these fraudulent schemes, they thrive on secrecy. They often, lack clear information about who's on their team, what their technology is, what their roadmap is for the future.
It's like they want to keep everything in the dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they want you to just trust them blindly.
Right.
Which is never a good idea.
Yeah. So it's like, if you can't find out who these people are, you know what their experience is.
Yeah.
What they intend to do with your investment.
What are they actually offering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And our sources talked a lot about, white papers and team backgrounds and things like that.
Yeah.
What are some specific things that we should be looking for when we look at those things?
So a genuine crypto project will publish a white paper detailing all of their objectives.
Okay.
The technical side of their platform, how the tokenomics work.
Right.
And they'll also make information about their core team members.
Okay.
Publicly accessible.
Okay.
Usually including professional histories.
Yeah.
Maybe links to their LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But, if they're claiming to be groundbreaking,
right,
but they're not giving you any information about who they are or the technology they've built, then you have to ask yourself, what are they offering?
That's like investing in a company but not knowing who the CEO is.
Yeah.
Or what industry they're in.
Exactly.
Yeah. So red flag number 3, and this one really plays on our emotions, is this pressure to invest quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've seen so many ads for this.
Right.
Limited spots available.
Limited time only.
Like, get in now before it's too late.
Yeah. You're going to miss out.
And it's total FOMO.
Right.
And I think a lot of these scammers, they create this false sense of urgency. Like, oh, this opportunity is only going to be around for a short time.
Right.
Or the price is going to skyrocket any minute.
Right. You got to get in now.
And they're trying to get you to make a decision.
Right.
Without really thinking it through.
Without doing your research.
Right.
Exactly.
But legitimate investments don't work like that.
They shouldn't.
You need time to do your due diligence.
Exactly.
To, weigh the benefits and the risks.
Yeah.
And so if someone is like, you have to invest right now.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah. Our sources gave this example of, a social media or email outreach.
Okay.
Where it's like this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Right.
That's about to expire.
Yeah.
And it's really designed to make you feel like
you're going to miss out.
If I don't do this right now, I'm going to regret it.
Yeah.
But that panic that you feel should actually be a warning sign.
Exactly. If it feels too good to be true, it probably is.
Okay, red flag number 4.
Okay.
This one is about testimonials and social proof.
Right.
That can't be verified.
Yeah.
And I think we've all seen this, where you go to a website and it's just full of these glowing endorsements.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well,
sounds great.
Everybody's making money here, but how do you know that those are real?
Exactly.
And that's where the scammers
they prey on that.
Come in.
Yeah.
They create these fake reviews. They have, supposed investors claiming they've made huge profits.
Right.
They might even use influencers who don't even know.
Who haven't even endorsed the product.
Yeah, that they're being used to endorse this. So you really have to kind of look under the hood.
Absolutely.
And see,
Yeah.
Are these verifiable?
Right. Can you find these people? Can you verify their claims independently?
Yeah. And I think our sources said that, if you're looking at a platform and it's got all these amazing success stories, but you can't find any independent confirmation from a third party, that's a problem.
That should raise a red flag for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Red flag number 5.
Yep.
This one's really scary.
Yeah.
Fake cryptocurrency exchanges and platforms. This is like
the infrastructure.
It's attacking the infrastructure of the whole system.
Right.
And I think, cryptocurrency exchanges, they're the gateways for buying and selling and trading these digital currencies.
Right.
But, there are these fraudulent exchanges that are out there.
They mimic the real thing.
And they look just like the real thing.
Yeah, they're getting really good at it.
They're getting so good. Yeah. It's like sometimes I have to triple check to make sure I'm on the right site.
Right.
But they don't have the security.
Nope.
They don't have the compliance that the reputable exchanges have.
Right.
And their whole goal is just to steal your money.
Yeah, to get your deposits.
Yeah.
And then disappear.
Yeah. So how do you know if it's real?
Right.
I mean, our sources said you should stick with the well-known names like Binance, Coinbase, Kraken.
Yeah.
Is that really the main thing you can do?
That's a big one for sure.
Yeah.
Using those established exchanges that have a long history.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while, they have a track record. But you also want to be careful.
Yeah.
If an exchange is brand new or, not that well known, especially if they're offering,
like really high rewards.
Yeah, like crazy rewards or like they're just not giving you a lot of information about
No.
who they are, how they operate, what their licensing is.
That's a problem.
Yeah. And, we've seen this happen.
Right.
Where a fake exchange will pop up.
Yeah.
People will deposit their funds, and then it's just gone.
Yeah, and you never see it again.
Oof.
So scary.
Yeah.
Okay, red flag number 6.
Okay.
Unclear or misleading white papers.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on this earlier, but let's dive a little deeper. What makes a white paper a red flag?
So the white paper is supposed to be this document that outlines, the project's vision, the technology, the economic model, and it should be really detailed.
Yeah.
But if it's vague or it's full of jargon or it doesn't really explain how the platform works, or it's just using all these buzzwords but there's no substance, that could be a sign that they're not being genuine. Or they're trying to deceive you.
Or they just don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah, or they don't know what they're doing.
They're just making it up as they go along.
Exactly.
But legitimate projects, they're going to be clear.
Yeah, they want you to understand.
And accessible in their white papers.
Absolutely.
So if you're reading it and you're more confused after you read it than before you started.
More confused than when you started. That's a problem.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
And the example that they gave was a white paper that's full of terms like revolutionary blockchain innovation. But it doesn't actually explain how the platform works.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, it's just like they're trying to dazzle you with the technical terms.
Address you,
But they don't have a real product or service.
Exactly.
Okay, red flag number 7.
Okay.
Lack of independent audits
Yeah.
and security measures.
This is a big one.
Yeah, and you would think that for anything that's handling your money, this would be...
It should be a given.
A give.
Yeah. But it's not always the case.
It's not always the case, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so, genuine projects. They're going to prioritize security. They're going to have independent audits.
Yeah, by third-party firms.
Yeah.
People who come in and look at their systems, their smart contracts, and try to find vulnerabilities before the bad guys do.
Yeah, because they're trying to protect their users.
Exactly.
And their reputation.
Right.
But the scammers, they don't want that scrutiny.
They want to hide.
Yeah, because it would expose them.
Right. It would show their flaws or their malicious intentions.
So if you don't see any audit reports from reputable firms,
that's a red flag.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And they gave the example of a DeFi platform that doesn't have any proof of smart contract audits.
And that's particularly concerning because with DeFi, smart contracts are at the core of everything.
Yeah.
So if those aren't secure...
They're really opening yourself up to risk.
Yeah. Huge risk.
Yeah.
Okay. Red flag number 8. Customer support.
Right.
We all rely on customer support.
Absolutely.
When we're dealing with digital platforms.
All the time.
But in the crypto world, why is bad customer support a red flag?
Because if you're having a problem, you need to be able to get help. And if you can't reach anyone, or the people you do reach are unhelpful or unprofessional, that is a huge warning sign.
Yeah.
Because, legitimate companies, they want to help you.
Right.
They're going to have transparent and easily accessible support channels.
Yeah.
Email live chat, maybe even phone support.
Yeah.
But these scammers, they make it really difficult to get in touch with them.
Yeah.
And that's especially a problem when it comes to withdrawing your funds.
Yeah.
If you can't get your money out, that's a big problem.
Yeah, and our sources actually suggested testing the customer support before you invest.
Definitely.
Just to see
how responsive they are.
How responsive they are.
Yeah.
And if they're helpful.
Yeah. Are they professional?
Okay. Red flag number 9.
Okay.
Unlicensed and unregulated platforms. And I think, with all the discussions going on around the world about regulation of crypto, this is really relevant in 2025.
Absolutely.
And while the crypto market is still less regulated than traditional financial markets, legitimate projects are going to seek compliance. They're going to try to follow the rules.
They want to build trust.
Right. But these unregulated platforms, they're operating without any oversight.
No one's watching them.
Yeah. And so that increases the risk of fraudulent activities and the potential that you're going to lose your investment.
Right.
So I know some people might see a lack of regulation as a good thing.
Yeah. Freedom.
But it can also...
double-edged sword.
It can create an environment where scammers can thrive.
For sure.
And I think our sources specifically said, watch out for platforms that say things like, we're unregulated for your convenience.
Yeah, that should be a red flag.
That should sound suspicious.
Yeah, like why?
Nice.
Why are you not regulated?
Yeah, are you trying to hide something?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and legitimate platforms are going to be transparent about their licensing and their compliance.
Absolutely.
So if there's no regulation at all, it could mean that there's no one to hold them accountable if something goes wrong.
Exactly.
Okay, red flag number 10.
Okay.
This is overly complicated processes and high fees, and this just feels like...
It's a tactic.
Yeah.
It's a way to
trap people.
To confuse investors.
Yeah. Yeah, and so...
To make it hard to get your money out.
Yeah. They might make it really difficult to withdraw your funds. Or they might have these really high fees for basic transactions.
And they're not being upfront about it.
And they're not transparent about it. And so they're basically either trying to confuse you or... make it so expensive
or both
to get your money out that you just give up. But legitimate platforms, they're going to make it easy.
They want you to manage your assets easily.
They're going to have clear processes. They're going to have transparent and reasonable fees. So if it's really difficult to get your money out or there are all these crazy fees.
Big red flag.
That's a huge red flag. So this has been really helpful in terms of, you know, laying out the red flags. But I know our sources also talked about some specific things that people can do to protect themselves. Could you kind of summarize those?
Sure. So it really boils down to a few key actions. First and foremost, do your own research. Before you invest in any project or platform, do your homework. Look for independent reviews. Look for audit reports if you can find them. Verify the backgrounds of the team. Make sure these are real people who have a track record. Second, use reputable cryptocurrency exchanges. Ones that have a history of security and transparency. You know, we talked about Binance, Coinbase, Kraken. Those are good examples. Third, be very wary of any promises of guaranteed, exceptionally high returns. If it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is.
Fourth.
Enable
two-factor authentication.
2FA.
2FA. On all your accounts. That adds an extra layer of security. Fifth. Secure your cryptocurrency in your own wallets. Ideally hardware wallets. You know, rather than leaving it all on an exchange and finally stay informed about the latest scams and security best practices. So, you know, read reputable news sources, engage with trusted communities, and just, you know, keep learning. So the main takeaway here is, while crypto is super exciting, especially in 2025, it's only getting bigger. We have to be vigilant. We do. About fraud. Absolutely. And I think the thing that is so disturbing is how much more sophisticated these scams are getting. They're getting really good at it. It's scary. And so, you know, I think by going over these 10 red flags, we've really given you the tools you need to navigate the crypto market to stay safe more safely and, you know, protect your assets and make informed decisions. And I think, you know, one of the things that I really appreciate about this deep dive is that it's like a shortcut. You know, you didn't have to read all these articles and reports and things like that. We did it for you. We did it for you. And we extracted the most important information. The key takeaways. So now I can go forth and be safe. Exactly. So here's a final thought. You know, given how quickly these scams are evolving, what new methods might these fraudsters come up with in the years to come? It's scary to think about. And how can we stay ahead of them? Be proactive. Do your research. Keep learning and don't get complacent. Exactly. So thank you for joining us for this deep dive. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. See you next time. Bye.